Today we're doing a live Q&A. I curated some questions before this Q&A and we got a very good one that came in. I'm going to do this question first and then I'll answer the questions that you guys come in as you're joining here. I see a few people joining already. Welcome, welcome. So the first question that came in for this Q&A, it's a very serious question. Came from Kashan on Instagram. He said, "Is it necessary to lose if you know it won't help you achieve anything?" There's a few different ways to answer this question. And the first way that I want to tackle this question is that in order to succeed at anything, there's going to be some failure that's necessary. It's just like when you were first learning how to walk, right? Like nobody pops out of the womb knowing how to walk. You have to stumble around. You have to learn how to roll over and then stand up and stumble and you fall and eventually you learn how to walk, and pretty much everyone on the planet knows how to walk. You wouldn't go to a baby and say, "Well, you know what, this kid is a year old, hasn't learned how to walk. I guess this kid's just not a walker." Right? No, you're going to say that you will continue to learn how to walk until you do. So there is an element of failure that is necessary to learning how to do anything. Let's approach this question from a different angle. Let's say that you're in a trade and you have half a dozen things that are telling you that, you know what, this trade is not working out. There's X, Y, and Z danger signals, let's say. Danger signals is a term that I like to use when I'm looking at a particular trade to see if a trade is going to sour. Do we have to stick with something that clearly isn't working? And you could take the same analogy, whether something is working or not working, you could apply it to everyday life, you could apply it to relationships, you could apply it to your work, whatever. Should you stick with something that clearly is not working? To that, my answer is no. To that, we need to be aware enough to understand when something is working and when something is not working. There will be signs for when something is working and when something is not working. We should give things time to work, adequate time. What's adequate time? Adequate time is going to be different depending on what it is that you're trying to do. So, for example, let's say that you want to learn how to be a trader and you saw something on Instagram. Let's say that you read a couple of my posts that inspired you to learn how to trade. And let's say that you are relatively new to this game. You take the information from some of those posts, you go, you apply it, and it doesn't work. And you say, you know what? Trading is nonsense. I'm not going to try this anymore because I tried it and I failed. Is that adequate time to learn what's a profession, right? Like, well, we're not just talking about learning how to, I don't know, tie your shoes. Even when you would learned how to tie your shoes, if you probably didn't get it on the first try, it probably took you a few tries. Maybe it took you a few hours. Maybe it took you a day to learn how to tie your shoes. You should give yourself multiple times to learn how to do something. So it should take an adequate amount of time. You should be willing to fail in order to get there. Now, does that mean that you should stay in a bad trade, a bad relationship, a bad job for an excessive period of time? What's excessive? Excessive should be an amount of time where uh, it, something is clearly not working, where you're not only not getting the result, but you're going backwards. Then it becomes time to reassess and start to figure out, well, what is going wrong? Why did it go wrong? Let me hit the pause button and evaluate, right? If I'm driving the wrong direction on the highway, right? Like, let's say that I want to head east, but I'm going west. When should I turn around? I should start to turn around at the first possible opportunity to turn around. If I'm in a job that I don't like, then I should leave that job at the first opportunity that I can. The first opportunity that I can might be when I've got something else lined up. If I'm in a trade that clearly isn't working, that it's violated multiple levels of what I've identified as support, it continues to fall. I should exit that thing as soon as possible because it's already told me that, hey, this is not working. This is a loser. It's violated X, Y, and Z, and it's time to call quits. So there is a time to exit it. There is a time to cut our losses, but we should know that we need to there is an element of failure that is required for success. It's uh, really the price of entry to succeed at pretty much anything. In fact, I'm hard pressed to think about a single thing that is necessary or hard pressed to find anything, a single item that you could succeed at without there being any element of failure whatsoever. If you have some ideas, put them into the chat. Let me know. In the meantime, I'll look for some other questions that have come in this Q&A. Question about how early I wake up in the morning. So I typically wake up at 4:30 a.m. Eastern time. I like to get up early because it lets me get a jump start on the day. I'm the first one up in my house, so I will wake up by 5 a.m. I'm already hydrated. I'm at the gym, and when I say that I hydrate, typically I'll drink 10 ounces of water with Athletic Greens. Athletic Greens, it's a supplement that has a lot of green vegetables in it. It's almost I would call it the equivalent to a multivitamin, but because it's powder form, because I'm dissolving it into the water, and because it's plant-based, I'm getting a lot of the plants that I would need each day in that drink, and it helps to supplement going forward. So there's the hydration part. Then I'll hit the gym. Gym, I'll either do weight training, cardio, or depending on the day, what the trainer recommends. And then after that, it's home for stretching, for yoga, prayers, shower, and then by the time all that's done, it's roughly 7 a.m. or so. And that's how I'm starting my day. Pretty much every day, well, with very few exceptions. Let's see what other questions you guys have. Question about the Successful Trader Roadmap. So, Successful Trader Roadmap is outlined in my book, The Trading Mind Wheel. What is the Successful Trader Roadmap? To be a successful trader, there's certain skills that you're going to need to learn, and you can learn them out of order. But if you learn them out of order, it's going to take significantly more time. Here's the proper order to not only become a successful trader, but to be able to do so in the least amount of time possible. First, you need to learn about mindset. You need to learn about mindset. You need to learn about beliefs, belief systems, because when you are consciously aware of your beliefs and belief systems, it's going to not only allow you to uh, remove negative beliefs that you might have or limiting beliefs that you might have, beliefs that could get in the way of your progress, allow you to weed the garden first, and then you'll be able to have a better time, more intentional time planting all the new beliefs that you're going to acquire that will lead to all the other skills that you're going to have in trading. After that, you want to learn about journaling, how you're going to journal and track your trades. That part's important too, because a lot of people will just dive into, say, technical analysis of charts. I'm going to go open my account first and then start playing around. Not only do you start to build a lot of bad habits that way, but you don't really know what you're doing. And When you are actively trying to trade in that way, just opening up the account, you can't really learn very well from what you just did because nothing's being tracked. You don't even know what to track. So journaling is the next thing. Then after that, then you could start to learn about analysis, analyzing the environment and analyzing the asset that you're actually going to trade. From there, you could start to learn about risk, learn about position sizing. How much are you going to put into a trade? Where are you going to cut the loss? Then after that, you could learn how to manage a trade. How are you going to sell into strength? When are you going to start to take profits? Based on what and how? Then from there, portfolio management. Yeah, are you going to just have one trade? Are you going to have multiple trades? How are you going to know how much risk overall is on the table? So now you're building your portfolio. Great. Then you're going to need to learn about uh, post analysis, right? So you had your trade management, you had your portfolio management. Now you're starting to exit some trades. How are you going to post analyze those trades to see what went well, what didn't, and how you might improve? Then finally, there's the testing phase where you've come up with your thesis, your hypothesis based off of your post analysis, and then you could start to see, well, what I came up with some great ideas for how I can improve before I go off and throw more money into it. How can I test this stuff out? And those are the skills that you need to trade well, and that's the order that I recommend going in. And that whole blueprint is inside the Trading Mind Wheel. Go get it. It's on Barnes and Noble. It's on Amazon and everywhere books are sold. Next question. How to improve our trading psychology? The way to improve your trading psychology is to dig into your beliefs. Start by writing out your beliefs on trading, about money, and your self beliefs. Take out a piece of paper, start writing those things down. You literally have hundreds of beliefs about each of those topics and subtopics. From there, the next step is to write out your goals. What goals do you have for your trading? What goals do you have for life in general? Then the way to assess your beliefs is to see, well, I've got these beliefs. Which ones are leading me closer to these goals? Which ones are leading me further away from these goals? If you want to get somewhere and you have a whole stack of beliefs that are limiting in nature, let's, for example, say that you have a belief that, you know what, I think that trading is kind of rigged, that the major institutions of the world have inside information, and there's not really much that the little guys like us could do to win. Is that a belief that is going to enable you to actually succeed at trading? Probably not, right? Because the first time that the market takes a dip against a position that you're holding, that belief is going to trigger subconsciously, and you're likely to give up. So that's why it's important to write out your beliefs. And that's one way that you could straight away improve your trading psychology. I talk about it in both this book as well as my first book, the Mara Mindshift Guide. Both of those available on Amazon. Let's see, what other questions you guys have? Scrolling through Instagram here. Hello, Yamari. Bunch of people hopped on, hopping in and out. All right. If that's the end of the questions, then we will wrap things up. I see some people hopping in saying what's up. Some people, someone saying love from Bhutan. Love right back at you. Love from Massapequa in New York. All right, so think we'll end it there if there's no other questions. Thank you guys for hopping on. It's been great. And I will see you back here on Friday for the next Morning Coffee with Mike. Take care. Much love. Peace out, everybody.